I, female 28, recently had my and my husband's 32 first child, a little boy. Our baby is amazing, and we are so in love with him. After the birth, we only allowed our parents and siblings to see the baby so that we could have time to settle into our new lives. We didn't want to be overrun with visitors, but we decided to host a barbecue this weekend so some more extended family and friends could meet the baby. It went really well, and everyone was so over the moon to see the little one. I'd like to clarify this wasn't a huge gathering, maybe only 10 people. At one point, I took the baby inside for his lunch. I'm currently nursing him, so I went to his nursery to have some privacy. As most people were in the backyard, I thought that this would be a quiet spot for the two of us. Unbeknownst to me, my best friend's, female 27, husband 29, needed the bathroom at some point and came into the house. I think he was having a bit of a snoop around because he opened the door to the nursery where I was with the baby, which is nowhere near the bathroom, and inevitably found us. He was quite shocked and fumbled his words a little bit before closing the door and leaving. I wasn't very happy that this had happened because I specifically had gone looking for a quiet moment so the baby could eat, but it was what it was, and I thought it was over. When I walked out of the house a little while later, I was surprised to see that my best friend and her husband had left. My husband tells me that when best friend's husband came out of the house, he immediately reprimanded my husband for the fact that I was exposing myself and acting inappropriately in front of guests. Of course, my husband was very confused by what was going on, but my best friend's husband basically just grabbed my friend and the two of them left, leaving everyone else quite stunned. A few hours after everyone had gone home, best friend's husband started a group chat with me, my husband, and my best friend, and basically said that he couldn't believe how I had exposed myself to him today when I knew he was happily married and that I should have more shame. He said that I was not setting a good example for my son, who would grow up to be some deviant because I was refusing to feed him in a normal and healthy way. I'm honestly quite upset about the whole thing, and no one has responded. My best friend has not even opened any of my other messages, but I wonder if maybe I should have just gone with a bottle feed during the event so that this would have never happened. My husband thinks best friend's husband has lost his mind, but was I the idiot? Sweet Jesus, you can feed your own child in any way you want, especially in your own home, especially in your own nursery. Your friend's husband is so wildly out of line. You should go no contact with both of them until he apologizes completely and unreservedly. Not the idiot, very much so. Best friend's husband is nuts. By his reasoning, accidentally opening a door on someone using a toilet would also be exposing yourself in public. He's trying to find a way to make sure he's blameless. This is very nasty behavior on his part. This guy is an untrustworthy snake and shouldn't be allowed near you without a full heartfelt apology and correction of what happened to everyone there, at a minimum. Yep, he didn't accidentally do anything. Either he was snooping or he went looking for her to expose her. If your friend has an issue, you might need to dump your friend. His behavior is so over the top that he should be called out for his misogyny and told that he had no right to be in the room in the first place. The fact that he used it to shame her for breastfeeding makes it sound like he did it on purpose. You were in a private room, in your own house, and we're not expecting this guy to barge into the room. It's completely unnecessary for him to venture around the house. It seems like he had a guilty conscience and told his wife his version of the story to cover his own. I was making my way directly to the bathroom when your friend jumped out in front of me, topless, and jiggling her breasts seductively. He's a total idiot who would never be invited to my house again. Good riddance. I, 33 male, am getting married next summer. I invited a friend from university to my wedding, but intentionally did not give him a +1 for his wife. His wife and I don't get on. She attended university with us, and we had our fair share of fights then, and a rather large fuss some 5 odd years ago. We live on opposite sides of our country, and we only see each other a couple of times a year, if that, for special occasions, like other friends' weddings. His wife and I can generally be cordial now, but mostly avoid or ignore one another. They got married around 4 years ago, and I was not invited to their wedding. My friend told me, in no uncertain terms, that he wanted me there, but his wife did not, and that he chose to respect her wishes on her big day. I was disappointed but understanding, and never let it affect our friendship. I'm having a big wedding, and all guests with spouses, fiancés, and serious boyfriends and girlfriends are getting +1s, except for said friend. It is not a numbers issue. I simply don't want his wife in attendance. Given the lack of a +1, I've considered the likelihood that my friend will RSVP no, but I'm okay with this outcome. I have no intention of telling him ahead of time that most others are getting a +1, but I'm aware that he's most likely going to find out. My fiancé and I obviously discussed this matter, and she's fully supportive of this decision. Other friends whom I've spoken to tell me that I'm being ruthless and should not have even invited my friend if I wasn't going to give him a +1 for his wife. So, am I the idiot? Edit. She cheated on my friend at university, and they broke up. I was not as warm to her afterward, but not outwardly mean. She wanted him back, and he asked for advice. I said, don't do it. He took her back anyways, obviously his right to do so, but I remained more distant from her, not sure if my friend told her that I advised they remain broken up. I wouldn't be surprised, or if it was just me not being as friendly, but she turned nasty on me. 5 years ago, I called her out for her behavior after she hurt me with multiple rude comments. Alcohol was involved, and I could have handled the situation with more finesse. Our interaction ruined a wonderful evening. Once we sobered up the following day, I apologized for my part and expected the same in return. Instead, she only refused to apologize or accept any blame, but she also entirely rejected my apology. Not the idiot. You and your wife discussed it, are on the same page, and ultimately, it's your wedding, and you can invite whomever you'd like to, or not, just like your friend's wife to their wedding. Side note, I disagree with your friends regarding you shouldn't have sent the single invite to your friend. You sent him one. He's your friend. He can choose. Not sending one would have been ruthless. OP, I don't understand why you would even invite him. After a non-invite to their wedding, I consider the friendship over and be an acquaintance every now and again instead. No matter who she's married to, I wouldn't want this woman anywhere near my wedding. It would have probably been better to invite neither and just have a private conversation with him. I suspect that he won't come, and the friendship has probably run its course, but you sound okay with that. I say you are the idiot, simply because you intentionally put your so-called friend in an untenable position. Either invite the married couple as a couple, or don't invite them at all. If you want your friend there, don't make them have to choose. And if you're okay with them not showing up, well, why then invite him in the first place? It's like you're trying to make a point or something. You're asking him to travel across the country to celebrate your wedding, but to heck with the marriage that he's in. That is petty, small behavior. Either don't invite him at all, or invite them both. If she hates you enough, she may decide she doesn't want to be there on her own. My daughter, Casey, has struggled with lying throughout her life. From little things like, I had Wendy's for lunch, when she had McDonald's, up to big things like, I got into a fight at school, when she didn't. We started her in therapy when she was around 8 years old to try to get to the root of it. Even she couldn't see why she was lying. We tried 3 different therapists, but they all seemed to think it was age appropriate. My husband and I focused on teaching her the repercussions of lies, making sure she knew she could come to us with anything, etc. We've always been the type to let our kids make mistakes, while knowing we'll always be there with no judgment, just there to help them do better. Things got somewhat better as she got older. There'd be the occasional small white lie, but she got better when we talked about it. When Casey came out as a lesbian at 16, we were supportive and treated her girlfriend as one of the family. Issues arose when the lying began again, and Casey became rather aggressive. We took her back to therapy, and she was diagnosed with BPD. She refused treatment. We did all we could to get her in, but she was diagnosed shortly before she turned 18, so there was very little we could do. After a really bad incident, we told her she either sought help that we'd pay for, or she had to leave. She chose to leave. A few years later, she finally agreed to accept help. She's now 23 and doing a bit better. Casey works as a DEI, Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion Manager for a company. For Pride Month, the company showcased LGBTQ+ employees sharing their stories. I was excited to read Casey's when she shared it on Facebook. My heart sank when I read it. Casey wrote that her parents weren't supportive when she came out. She added that we had kicked her out of the house for a week after she told us, but took her back in when we guilted her into it. I tried to reach out to Casey, but she didn't answer. So many people in her Facebook comment section were apologizing for her traumatizing experience. They were attacking me and my husband. I finally commented that none of this was true, and it was extremely hurtful to see this narrative spun. Casey finally replied and said I needed to remove my comment. She said it was just a way to get clicks. I said it was a lie, and she posted it so everyone could see, making us look bad. I shared how hurt I was that, yet again, she was lying for attention. She then deleted my comment for me. I made a post showing the various Pride events we went to, pictures of her girlfriend on vacation with us, even videos Casey took of herself and the two of us discussing her journey, etc. I tagged Casey in it. Some still back her up, but most have apologized to me. Her girlfriend finally called her out on it and said, "I've always been nice to her. She's mad at me, saying I'm making her look bad and saying I don't understand how stuff like this works. Am I the idiot? She made you look bad when she lied about you. Were you just supposed to do nothing about that? What does she mean when she says you don't understand how stuff like this works? Not only are you not the idiot, but Casey's making it actively harder for other LGBTQ+ people. The bigots and haters are going to latch on to Casey's made-up story of trauma and use her example to belittle other people who actually have to deal with unsupportive families. OP, you may want to consider distancing yourself from her. She's actively trying to cause you and your husband harm. I know she's your daughter, but I'm worried you'd be on the receiving end of worse. Next, it might be accusations of abuse. What would you do then? You could lose everything you've built. People take this stuff seriously, and they might come after you and your husband with pitchforks next. Her next accusation could result in losing your job, reputation, maybe even police investigations, and whatever else. This is seriously concerning. I have no idea why her girlfriend didn't call her out sooner. Why did she wait? It seems like you can't count on her having your back until it's too late, despite you being accepting of her. I'm sorry this is happening. I'm 25 now, marrying the love of my life, 24 female. The wedding parties are already set. We have 4 people on each side, our siblings and best friends. Well, almost all the siblings. My brother is a groomsman, and so is one of her brothers, who's closer to my age. Her eldest brother is not in the party. The point is, the parties are pretty close, and we both agreed we didn't want a large wedding party. I don't know how some people have like 10 on each side, but I digress. My dad is a sap. He and my mom divorced when I was 7, so most of my memories are of his dating life. He tries his best, but he's very soft-spoken and can be a bit of a pushover. He's been dating Donna for about 3 years now. This is by far the most serious relationship I've seen him in, and he's planning to marry her. Donna has a 19-year-old daughter. We see my dad, Donna, and the daughter a few times a month. My dad and I went to lunch, the two of us, when he mentioned how nice it would be if Donna's daughter was a bridesmaid, as she loves the two of us so much. I laughed and said that was all set. Remember, Dad? But then I realized he was serious. Like he started throwing out ideas. Replace one of her friends, or we each add a person. I explained that I absolutely was not having this conversation with my fiance, and it wasn't happening. He dropped another bomb. He already told Donna and her daughter that we were figuring it out, but planning on adding her. And she's been so excited lately. I told him no, and it's his fault for saying that, so he has to deal with the situation he created. He started with the whole, just do it for me. You know how much I love Donna. I'll make it up to you. I stayed firm. This is when he started to throw around the idea of not paying for the bar anymore. I haven't brought this up to my fiance yet. I don't want to, because I think it's so outlandish, and it would probably make her feel guilty. She's a people pleaser, and I don't want to add to her stress by telling her about this situation. So I'm wondering if it's an idiot move to tell my dad no to his request. Not the idiot. Tell your dad a firm no and remind him it's a complete sentence. I wouldn't tell him this, but 3 years of dating doesn't mean much. What's going to happen if he and Donna break up? All of your wedding pictures will have your dad's ex-girlfriend's daughter in them. Tell your dad that the bridal party is set and you're looking forward to having Donna and her daughter as guests. And if there are any issues, they're more than welcome not to come. If he doesn't want to pay for the bar, so be it. But don't let him manipulate and blackmail you. I would drink stream water before I let anyone hold paying for a bar at my wedding over my head to force my fiance to have a last-minute father-nominated bridesmaid. His monkeys, his circus. I'd one-up him, uninvite him. Thanks but no thanks. Your presence is no longer required. He should be the one worrying about hurting you and damaging your relationship. Dude, he doesn't have any problem damaging his relationship with you. It's your wedding. It's the dad's girlfriend's daughter who, from the sounds of it, is not close to anybody in the wedding party. Your dad's an idiot for making promises he has no power to deliver on. He got himself into this, and maybe today is the day you get to watch your dad grow a spine and mature right in front of your eyes. And really, wouldn't that be even better than if he paid for the bar? Good luck, OP. My husband has 2 girls from a previous marriage, Addison Tween and Madeline Young Tween. He and his ex broke up when she was pregnant with Madeline, and we started dating shortly after. I've been in the girl's life since Addison was a toddler and Madeline was an infant. We have primary custody during the school year. During the summer, they do 3 weeks with us and 1 week at their bio mom's house. Their bio mom has a tween stepdaughter, Lauren, that can be a bit of a bully. Madeline is very shy and has some sensory issues and minor developmental and speech delays, so she's seen as an easy target for Lauren. All 3 girls share a room, so Madeline doesn't really have an escape from Lauren. Last time I picked the girls up, Madeline ran to me and said that Lauren took a lot of her clothes and toys and wouldn't give them back. Their bio mom said Madeline gave them to Lauren, but Addison confirmed that Lauren did take them from Madeline. I was able to get a couple of things back, like her favorite pajamas and stuffed animal, but Lauren and their bio mom wouldn't give anything else back. Their bio mom's house is very close to 2 very nice malls. It's also important to mention that my husband and I are much more well off than their bio mom and her husband. When Lauren and the girls' bio mom wouldn't give the rest of Maddie's stuff back, I promised the girls a shopping spree at the nearby malls. Lauren said she wanted to come, but I told her that she had just gotten a lot of new clothes and toys, so she didn't need to go. She returned a lot more of Maddie's stuff and asked if I could take her now, but the answer was still no. Lauren threw a temper tantrum, and the girl's bio mom decided I was no longer welcome at her house and would only release the girls to their dad, which is against the custody order. My husband is defending me to their bio mom, but he says I was petty and shouldn't have done that. Excuse me? Your husband is saying you're petty for not taking his ex's stepdaughter to the mall after she stole her stuff? No. She stole clothes and refused to give them back. Then their actual mom stood up for the thief. Huge idiot. They only returned some things so she could try going to the mall with you. Is that a joke? I wouldn't have taken her either way. Also, they didn't bring any of their nice things to their mothers anymore. Is there a way you can give her a luggage lock for when she does stay there? Play stupid games and win stupid prizes. If the bio mom refuses to release the kids to you, record her saying this and take her to court. Also, this wasn't petty. You're being a good stepmom. Bio's mom is angry she has to deal with the aftermath of Lauren's tantrum when she created the monster. It is not your responsibility to take them shopping or buy anything for them, especially when she's stealing from your girls.